with the cloak though. I just go sub. But I mean that's really nice. I really like it. Wow, sweet. I barely have any of these. No one knows I exist. This is all critical. Okay, I'm just showing everything. I have nothing to hide right here, because not anymore. There's actually I never had really anything to hide. I don't think. I don't have anything to hide. If anyone wants, they can know absolutely everything about me, but I have to stay within policy depending on what platform I'm on, obviously. So we go from there, right? So I'm on Kick and Twitch. I don't think they're in like it shouldn't matter, right? This is all Elon, and this is like I don't know who this is actually. We could look it up. Who's Kick's owner here? Well, we be careful with this. Whoa, we be careful with this. Maybe there's no profanity here, right? Nothing. Nothing actually. Okay, okay. Yeah, I misspelled hiatus. Hiatus. Jesus. 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 Okay, let's do this. Uh, who's the owner of Kick, right? Google should know. Who's the owner of Kick? Of Kick. Here we go. Ed Craven. Okay, sure. There we go. We have him. There. He's right there in front of everyone. Okay? Right there. You studied for a billion years, whereas I did not. I was just a bum, pretty much. That survived somehow. I survived as a bum. And I became a monk. That is all I have, pretty much. I did work for like years and years, but then I stopped, unfortunately. But whatever. We did, here we go. Owner of Kick. Okay, so we're done. It's Elon, Ed Craven, and then Elon again. And then we have owner of Google. Here we go. Who is the owner of Google? Here. I would assume Alphabet Inc. Sure, let's do it. Fine. I don't know who you are really. Parent organization. If it's a committee, that's actually amazing, and it's not a proprietary owner. If it's a committee, that's actually really good. I don't know. Okay, Alphabet Inc. Who comprises the committee at Alphabet Inc? That would be the question, right? Who comprises? We really need to be careful with these. Hopefully, okay. Hopefully, no inappropriate predictions there. Uh, who comprises? Here, what is it? Alphabet Group or Alphabet Inc.'s committee. Yeah. Oh, they have multiple committees. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay. Has several committees that oversee various aspects of many of the company's operations. These committees include Audit and Compliance Committee, the Leadership Development, Inclusion and Compensation Committee, the Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee, the Executive Committee. Each committee has a specific set of responsibilities and is composed of board members with relevant expertise, right? Okay, sure. So the names are hidden, I suppose? Sure, that's fine. Okay. Maybe I could look them up. Here we have the leadership. Oh, okay, so it is a proprietary. I guess we have leadership here. CEO. I don't really. He should be part of a committee though. Like he obviously has a boardroom, right? Where they meet most likely online, which is the most feasible manner of meeting. So hopefully things are operating well for them with the state of the internet right now. I hope everything is going well. I wouldn't know, right? I'm not part of that committee. But there we go. We get a name. This guy seems like he's doing fine. Hopefully he's helping out India right now with their issues and resolving the conflict there, hopefully, and getting us back on pace for what we're supposed to do. And I mean, it's just unfortunate that we're under like these circumstances right now. This is just my VOD from WoW, and I learned that wait, what is my title in Twitch? Oh, it's League of Legends suggestions. No, no, no. We change this. We change this, right? We change this to uh, what were we garnering? Okay, we were talking about like the owners of all the like search engines and everything, right? Like we got Elon for Twitch and X, and then we got Ed Craven, and then Alphabet Inc., led by Sundar Pichai, I guess. Right? Sure. Okay. Then who else do we have? Microsoft, right? Owner of Microsoft should be Bill Gates or something. Who 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 runs Microsoft here? There we go. Okay, there we go. Satya Nadella, Chairman and Chief Executive. Obviously, you would want him to be part of a committee as well, right? And he should be an equal member along with other people. If they choose a leader this way, it's fine. It's fine, right? But he shouldn't have executive order. He should be part of a committee that still votes, right? Same with these guys, right? And then Elon as well. Committee. Here. Ed Craven. All these people should be included together and we should work together, right? Or else we're just like, I don't know. Obviously we are, right? To many degrees. We see it everywhere. So we need to just stabilize Russia. Hopefully they don't forfeit the water like it seems like they're doing, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean, we need to just remedy issues worldwide and fix the issue with Russia, get them back into the economy, obviously, so we can get them their space station Mir back, get them whatever they need, right? We need to take responsibility for Russia now for what they're doing, obviously, and then go from there, right? We need to fix whatever's going on in Africa. We need to fix whatever's going on in Israel right now. We see it. I don't know if I can go through the videos. If I could and there was no issue, then we could just go through the videos together here. And then we could go through other forms of evidence, right? Obviously, those that have access to satellites would know exactly what's going on, but to a certain degree, right? You would need multiple perspectives from different angles on the same scene, right? Pretty much looking at the same objects in each from each perspective, right? To verify that everything that you're seeing is actually real, right? You can't just go with one video, oh, this is like an alien encounter, right? When it can easily be doctored, because you need multiple angles, right? Multiple cameras, multiple cell phones. Now, the military should have absolute access to all this, right? All, like, basically NATO, like everyone. I don't know about the Vatican. I would assume they would have like access to everything, right? Satellite imagery, everything. So we know who could be like watching at any time, right? We know it's obvious. So as long as we're conducting ourselves within reason, it's fun, right? So I kind of lost my train of thought here, but we were going over like a committee that probably should be established, right? Within these governing bodies, pretty much, along with governing through policy, right? Just like regular governments, in essence. So here, I would advise, like, obviously these. I would assume, if I could assume, these people should be all together, right? Like at certain times on their computers, just talking to each other. They don't even have to move, right? So they're just fine where they are, talking to each other, just going over things, right? If they want to talk to each other, or at least that should be established, right? I mean, they are like the largest governing or corporate bodies, in our world. So, uh, yeah, I lost my train of thought here, but yeah, we like to see it. You know, leader of the company, great, but executive order, maybe not so good, depending on whether or not it gets voted for, right? If he has an executive order that he has to take, he needs probably the majority of the vote, or it's a close vote, right? To establish an executive order on that. So I'm assuming that these people are reasonable enough to go around this way. So like it's obvious that they're like conducting themselves in this manner. So what I was getting at is here I had a video on how to improve the economy. Oh, I should have probably introduced myself as Sebastian Martin, I guess. Seasonal. But my name is extremely common, so there are a lot of people with my name. I advise you. There are videos on this channel here, Sebastian Z TV, that we see. And I don't know much about security risks because I had an opportunity to be an ISMD security, or it was ISMD ISSP, I believe, that I could have gotten. But then just after unfortunate circumstances, I ended up losing my job at Staro, which was located. It was at the Cologne office there, and then we just fell into disarray over the years, just getting like odd jobs, nothing too special. I was like programming. I was still programming or using the Linux OS when I was at my job at NCR. I would like I wouldn't do anything bad, right? I would just use my Linux box from NCR just to compile just applications onto it, so I could do it from work and save time. It wouldn't like affect work whatsoever. So I just had it there. It wasn't like against policy or anything. So it was fine, right? I checked the policy. That's why I employed it, right? Obviously, you have to. It's kind of like breaking the law within a certain environment. So yeah, and things were working out great there. I was working for a year, and then obviously I like no girlfriend after a while. Like a guy goes like he can't handle it anymore, and then I I, I just gave it up, unfortunately, because I couldn't stand it anymore. Like why am I even working if I'm not benefiting from it, right? So yeah, then I just fell into like more disarray, and then I just decided to like I just started feeling pretty bad, like in and out of hospitals. They helped me a bit. I was reading some books on like Osho. I don't remember the name of the book right now, but like it was just an Osho book, right? At the hospital, there was nothing else to do. I would read other books at other places. Just had issues, and then what do we have here? Yeah, and then yeah, I started like playing games, like going back to all my conventional games like League of Legends, Warcraft 3, all the popular games from the last 10 years, and I just played games for a while. And I just hung out with friends. I would make them computers, set them up with like set up like a second computer at my place, and then we just like play games for a while. It was really nice. We had a ping pong table. We just enjoy games. It seems like it's just like a heavenly experience for Canadians to just be able to just game all day and have fun and just enjoy themselves. So we just did that, and then eventually it evolved to the point where like Twitch came out and everything came out, but I didn't like uh I didn't stream at the time. I was kind of I just didn't do it. I don't know why. I just played and focused on gaming, and then eventually uh we got to the point where we're here, right? Where I just gamed, or I was feeling like kind of sick, and then eventually I got better, and then eventually I got to the point where I could game, and then eventually I got to the point where, wait, I can't really game anymore, even though here we'll show you. This email here could be compromised. I advise you, this email could be compromised, right? Because the last numbers are 3-1, but I don't know the other numbers. They could have changed. So we need to be careful there. And but it still has the hashtag from the login. So it's kind of safe through encryption here. And here we see it. This is what I'm giving up, pretty much. Almost. No, I don't want to open another Blizzard client. Please, please, please. No. Oh. Wow. Am I horrible at this or what? Sorry, no. We need to close some of this to save RAM and cycles here. I don't know if we keep that. We can close this. We're not gonna play. We're not gonna play League of Legends, bro. Maybe that removes them from viewing our computer, unfortunately. Okay, so here we go. What is my, see what my title is? Okay. Yeah. Wow. It's, here. Bro. Do I have to hide it? Do I have to hide the dashboard? Okay. Does it even matter? Who cares? Everything here is public? Everything here is public? What's wrong with this? Yeah, nothing. Okay. So, here, we'll open up the second account. I want everyone to know what I've been going through, or not really everyone, but like people that can assist me right now and in doing what I want to do. This is what I'm giving up. Basically, all these characters. You see them? All 80, all in purples, right? For the most part. All down to that one, right? So 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I just geared these guys too. I just geared these guys. Bro? What is going on? Oh. Oh, it's supposed to be on this side here. So here we see it. Bunch of characters I'm giving up, right? And then here we see it too. All the other ones. All this. All this. I was fully invested. And now I'm deciding to make videos. Oh, bro? What is going on here? Hello? Why am I seeing... Yo? Hello? Yeah. Well, I guess we hide this one. Fine. This is the wrong scene. There we go. Okay, so there was an issue. So we couldn't really see the characters, I guess, right? Or I guess we could, because it was in the WoW window. But my, I guess I have to cover this one. I can't help it because I could share a stream key by accident. But yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know about that email. It's also on my X email. So I don't know who could be using it. I don't think anyone is. I think I just locked myself out of it, right? But it is possible that someone could be using this, right? Right? Because I'm locked out of it. And the number that's in place was a residential number, and it doesn't have SMS for the time being. So I'm just locked out. Because it just added that number by accident instead of my cell. So I need to put my cell in there somehow. And then yeah. So we're hoping someone can help me with that. I need help on here. This is the old title. Sorry about that. I was just talking about like just stuff that's going on and what I sacrificed from World of Warcraft, right? So, what is my title on Kick? Let's go with that. Bro, no. We did League of Legends suggestions earlier. So we go just, talking about corporate leadership. Yeah, here. Okay. Okay. Here. And other issues. Issues, how to save Russia and the world from collapse, maybe? If we can, no wait, actually no, this is, no, we were talking about a bit about Russia, but we won't. We need to save Russia. These are our people too. We can't forget that. We love these people. I just had like just 3 beautiful Russian women walking across the street, talking Russian. Nothing happened. No one did anything. They were just talking. And I'm in Canada, by the way, obviously, right? Okay, so we need a good title here. Talking about corporate leadership or talks about corporate leadership and other issues. And earlier, right? So we put early with earlier talk, yeah, because no one's gonna know about that, right? So we put our title for our main subject here, which is gonna be world how to boost the world economy and increase morale. Is it with an E? Okay, it's fine. Morale. Wait, let's see. Let's verify this. I forget now. Morale. Here you go. Confidence, enthusiasm. No, yeah. It should be with an E. And this is moral. Yeah. What am I thinking, bro? Fried. Yo. Yo. Here. Damn it. Unfortunate. Okay, we want this one here. We got morale. Okay. There we go. Here, it's how to boost the world economy, increase morale with World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Okay, we owe it to them. We need this as a send-off, kinda, right? Right? I mean, come on. They gave us so many years. Good times. Loved it. Had pretty much like negligible issues with anyone, didn't mind anyone, just like had a good time. Had a good time. It was a blast. Loved it. Learned so much from all the streamers on Twitch, all the streamers on, well, just on Twitch pretty much. Like I barely watch people on Kick, but it's usually the same people, right? I could use shoutouts, but this is more for the VOD, right? I don't really want to do that. Right? Okay. Yeah, we had just enough room for this text. So we copy it. There, send it here. Here. Oh. Okay. Here. Do you get it? Is it blocked? Okay. No, our scenes are backwards now? Oh, no. We can show the screen. Okay. What about this one? Oh, it stays on the main screen. Excellent. Right? Or does it... Here. No. We need to change the monitor here, unfortunately. Oops. Okay. There we go. There's always going to be an oops, I guess. So... Okay, now it's on the right monitor. That's where we want it. When it's on both scenes. So it doesn't switch. I was using the plugin that lets you like set up coordinates for your mouse cursor. So when you move it from screen to screen, it just shows scene depending on what coordinates you're on, right? Obviously. It's there's a bunch of videos. I guess I could shout out to a bunch of people there. But here. That's a video posted earlier, right? I mean, these are things that have to happen for our soldiers and for ourselves, our civilians, and the game industry. For what's going on? Sorry, what was that? Okay, they're gonna have to knock on my door. I guess I'm not gonna just go out there in case I thought I heard something. I'm gonna wait till they knock on my door, or my cell phone's not gonna ring because I've been getting calls from Shanghai when I don't know anyone from Shanghai, right? So I just turn it off, right? And then when I need SMS, I use that, and that's it. That's all it is, right? I could put my cell phone in here. I guess it's the only safe way, unless someone like hacked it through Wi-Fi. I mean, you connect to it through Wi-Fi, so you get access to it, right? As long as you go through its security and encryption and firewall, and then you just whatever. You'd probably just like I can't explain that stuff. Maybe I could show it, but I used to be into that before, but I'm outdated now in that regard, right? By a long shot. So but I know like a bit about it, right? Like it's not. If I were to be instructed some code, I don't think it would be a difficult issue for me. Maybe at the start, but then eventually I'd catch on, and then things would just kind of like sail smoothly after that. But what I was getting at is that before I got interrupted, we got the title down, hopefully, right? Oh yeah, World of Warcraft, right? Okay, so we have access to it here. Once again, on the compromised account, which was by me, essentially, because I somehow switched the numbers by accident from my cell phone to my home phone. And now that number could be changed if anyone gained access to that account, but I still have the hashtag here, right? I'm letting everyone know this so we know how things are for the most part, right? With more detail. Okay, this is just the safest way for me because it requires my PIN and then it's linked to my PIN here, right? For me to be on here. Okay, so we're going on improvements for World of Warcraft. Now, what we want to see in World of Warcraft, right? To improve the economy, I'm going to bring out a text document here, right? With core issues. Just like I did for League of Legends. Just like I did for League of Legends. We'll do WoW now. WoW. Improvement. Improve. Yeah. Okay. So now. Here we have it. World of Warcraft. Core issues with the game, right? Core issues with the game. Core issues with the game. Right? I don't do much PvE. I have PvE experience, but only Keystone Master for the mount, right? So I don't do PvE, I don't raid, right? I kind of want to play later in the season, right? This is when I want to be playing WoW, but I'm doing this to improve our economy here and the world economy for this like international corporation, World of Warcraft, right? Oh yeah, we could have looked at their leadership too here. But core issues with the game for PvE, what are the core issues with the game? Right? Finding tanks, finding healers. Same with PvP. This one goes for both, right? We'll put PvP here, or here, just PvP. Okay. And then yeah, PvE. So we see it, right? This one is designated to these two, but this one is only designated to this one, right? Okay. Binding healers, PvP, right? Okay, so these are the support classes, right? So does PvP have an issue with this inherently? No. But when you go to LFG, we'll do this now, obviously, because we have the game. Still, fortunately, no one has hacked us through mind control, fortunately, to our benefit. So we can succeed here by letting everyone know how we can all get some more money for ourselves. And then here, we see it. We see it right before our eyes. Every time. Every time. Every time. Every time it's just right in front of you. Anything that you need to change will just reveal itself. Right? So we'll see here. I need to refresh. I need to refresh, right? What's going on here? Okay, we have it on both screens. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, sure. So we can look at LFG here, right? LFG, they're doing crate farm, right? There's these raids for crates. It's like big gangs that take crates from solo players that are farming just quests and stuff, trying to get the bloody tokens, which we see in... We should all know about bloody tokens by this point, right? So I'm not going to just digress on explaining the currency in this game. And then, okay. So we see that, which is a big part of the game now. These dictate who get the crates on which nodes, right? And which layers, depending on what realm they are on. Right here we see Dreadmaul. And then I'll see if I can bring up another account here. Okay. Hopefully it's the right one and I'm not opening the same account. Sure. Okay. Do we get it? Where is it? Is it here? Where's the Torn? Where's the Torn? Let's see. The Torn's on both sides, right? Here he is. He's on both sides. We see him. Okay, so we move him to the left. Okay, and now we have our other squadron. We need an alliance here, though. So we take this monk. Okay. We need to look at LFG for the crate group, which dictates who gets the crates first. This is the first thing that you have to do when you log in on a character. So you know where to park your character to get a crate. Like, see, you've all probably gotten the crate here at some point, right? So we see, maybe I should put this under the Warcraft section, actually, because it is about World of Warcraft. Here. Here. We'll go to the Warcraft section. Yeah. Sure. Let's see here. This one? Well, yeah, no one's gonna see us in just chatting. Or World of Warcraft. But we are talking about World of Warcraft, and we do in fact have the game loaded, so we might as well, right? Okay, so... let's see here. I'm waiting for a crate, right? On this guy, I have to check the crate group. We go back here. Bam, bam, bam. Crate group, right? Refresh. Filter. Here it is. Crate drop. We filter to see if there's an additional one. There's only one. Here we go. So it's Moonguard. Moonguard is, I believe, what region? Right? What time zone is Moonguard? I'm not actually familiar. I think it's like either west, central, or I don't really know where Moonguard's from, right? Like, I'm not that proficient, but it doesn't matter. You just have to think of where they could be, either central or west, and then you have obviously the other regions, right? So here we have Dreadmaul. Where's Dreadmaul now? We can check. We can check for both, in fact, for Dreadmaul and Moonguard if we want. Currently, I have no characters on those realms, but we could check here with realms, right? Here, we see them. We see them all here. Right before our eyes, every realm. Right? So we go to Dreadmaul. Here. Where's Dreadmaul? Has to be US. Okay.
Looks
Bro.
like there's treasure nearby.
There we have it, right?
And that means treasure hunters. Watch your back.
Okay. Treadmill. Yo, where is it? Not even here. Sure. Here it is. Okay, so these guys are in Australia, right? So big diff. Big diff, right? Both guys are going to be competing with Frostmourne for crates, obviously, right? No troll. It's obvious. It's obvious. You know, that's... But there's no other crate group. So they're only going to be competing as a raid against individuals on those nodes, on those servers, unless they... Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. With the leader on that realm, they're just going to stay in Australia, right? So here we have the Moonguard realm. We can also check. Where's our crate dropping? Maybe we get it? Maybe you get it? It's just gold, right? Okay. Do we get it? Let's see. We'll go on an adventure. Okay. We do get it. We have friends. The Valkyrie have come. The Valkyrie have come to help us get our crates. Okay, so we got it. Now Moonguard, where is it? Right? We got the crate, we can log out finally. Actually, will Hearth? It's just faster. Okay. So we know Australia on this side for Horde. For Horde. Right? It's Horde, amazingly enough, that's doing this. Whereas Australia was historically known for being Alliance dominated. But now we have the Horde with the crate group, whereas the Alliance are either delisted or they don't have a crate group at all, right? So, here... who do I want to go... Who did I want to, like, log into? I just want to check Moonguard. Moonguard, that's it, right? Okay. We see it here? Moonguard? We should actually get like time zones here. It would help a lot, right? For everyone? Because time zones. We need that here. Moonguard. Here. I mean, you could just look on the website, right? It's practically the same. But now I have to look on the website, right? And I risk exposing something, right? That I'm not aware of, right? I risk exposing something that I am not aware of, right? Right? I guess I could do it and check the realm website for the time zones, like here. I'll do it on the other screen. WoW realm time zones. So here. Okay. I usually play on Tychondrius and Blackhand, so I'm all west and central, right? And I see people from Moonguard, but they're not common. So now here, you... This is weird. Okay, so I think buildings are getting destroyed now? If we're losing servers? Incredible? What? No. Oh, man. Are you serious? Here. Moonguard? We'll just go to Moonguard. It's just faster? Yeah. Let's see if we have anything on here. This is to help, like, everyone playing the game, right? Now... Okay. Did I not create the character? Here. Is it on Moonguard? Random name. I don't even care. Wait. Here. James Lena. We go to death now? Okay. That was kind of a mistake though. Because now we'll have to wait the 20 seconds for the logout. But we're on Moonguard, I believe. Hopefully. And then we'll be able to see our latency through the latency indicator in the bottom right. Right here. So we have latency 60, we got 60 FPS because I'm running vertical sync. Unfortunately, I'm using like an outdated cable for this monitor. I have another monitor behind me, but I'm not connecting it right now, right? So we have, because I'm not sure if I'm moving. I don't know what's really happening. So we see 67, 68, right? Home world. So what can we garner from that? It's probably like east central, or not central, because that'd be way faster. So it's either west or central or east for me, right? Not central, because I would have a lower ping for that, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, what is this? Oh, she's just lying down. Okay, sure. Either way, the crate group is in Moonguard. I kind of like went off on a bad tangent there, because people knew where Moonguard was located, right? So I kind of like digressed, which is rather unfortunate. So we'll just delete this character here. Or it is redundant, it doesn't matter. We'll go back to the client here. But yeah, I wanted to say like who they could potentially be competing with on their realms, whether it's like Alliance or Horde majority, right? So if it's like Alliance majority but Horde creates a crate group, then there could be fights established between the bloody token farming groups that are farming the Sparks quest and then the raid itself, right? But it could be multiple groups farming the Sparks quest to then contend the raid. And I can't show evidence of that now because I'm not at the experience. I would have to gather clips from my VODs and then compile them in a video, but regardless. Now, we're gonna get to the core issues with PvP, right? And LFG, right? Obviously, raiding there's no issue, right? There's room for everyone in raids. No matter your gear, you just participate, right? So it's really easy. Obviously, you know, it's like everyone knows how to get into raids, so I won't touch on that subject, right? Other than the fact that LFG, instead of having applicants
above the living grotto
apply to raids
rich,
individually,
minerals. Get up there.
They could
and gather some.
just sit. Well, actually, no. They would have to apply to raids individually. No, that's not the issue. My issues are with PvP. So here we see all the. Okay. Here we see all the brackets, right? This one died. This one completely died, unfortunately. I'm sorry for that because I advocated for this and for Blitz, right? Or Blitz here and then solo queue. I advocated for these two, but unfortunately the fallout from that was killing this mode, which no one participates in. You can see here right now. Oh, we actually do have groups. So these guys are about to fight. Then okay, sure. Sure. I was wrong maybe? I mean, they need a lot more guys, don't they? It's gonna take a while, bro. I mean, well, only 2 groups as opposed to the dozens of groups in earlier expansions. So, my mistake. I'm sorry, Blizzard and the world, for advocating for solo queue and for solo shuffle, right? Or Blitz and solo shuffle. But solo shuffle, regardless, is a success, and so is Blitz, because people are getting games when everyone is trying to play, so it's fine. But then we succumb to the point where people can win trade, right? Or Q-Sync, like we saw in our earlier presentation, or I guess our video with in regards to League of Legends and how many accounts we needed to basically populate both teams, right? And then we saw that 10 accounts was the number. So it's just queue up at similar MMRs in 5 duos, and then 4 of them get into the same game, right? The thing is, you have to add additional variables for which positions have the most likelihood of getting into what spot, right? Which I didn't include in my video. So that's never going to be heard by the League of Legends community unless like someone reminds them or tells them about that. So, or they just see this and also play WoW. But anyways, I'm going to have to go AFK because I really need some water right now. And a cigarette, unfortunately. But nonetheless, we'll be right back and we'll see what happens. We're going to talk about the issues with PvP and I have no real issues with PvE other than the fact that I think the gear scales to the same level as PvP. Oh yeah, the issue I have with PvE is players can't use crafted gear at max eye level for the weapon embellishments, because those are the two best embellishments in the game. It would be Ascendance and then Weapon Grip, right? For mastery classes, or even Weapon Grip for the extra versatility wouldn't be bad, right? But you want those two for more value, as opposed to the focusing, or yeah, the focusing lens, which is roughly like a million to like what is it, like 2%, 3% of your damage, whereas the other scales with your tier, your talents, your sockets, and everything. So you're getting 100% scaling from the two weapon embellishments, which you can use in PvP, but you cannot. They're not viable in PvE due to the weapon damage coefficient, which dictates how much damage you deal, right? So here, I really need to get that water, even though I really like talking. Wow, I was logged out in Dornagal too. Thank God, like nothing overheated or anything. We should be fine. It wasn't too long. It wasn't like multiple days or anything. Now, we were talking about the crafted weapons, right? Which we see here. I'll show us. I'll show us what I'm talking about. I'll show us exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go on this character here, Blaze Beast. This guy popped off in so many BGs in Dragonflight, and Dragonflight was a beautiful expansion. I loved it so much. My favorite expansion of all time. My favorite time to play, because I had everything just like on the Zulaman PTR, and it was just absolutely improved, and I loved it. I love that game. Dragonflight was the best. With this game, with this expansion, however, we have certain issues with the depth of RBGs, right? Where we saw two groups that were half filled that were trying to queue against each other, right? So here we see my spec, my build. Obviously the slicing winds, which had an issue with a bug in shuffles and in rated PvP, where it would be disabled, right? You wouldn't be able to press it. It would just be here, and you'd press it. We see it work here, but you'd press it and it wouldn't work, right? If you got CC'd, like if you press it and then got CC'd, you would bug out. Like sometimes and sometimes not. So this is my build. Obviously I go for the juicy crit with this Wen and this lowest Wen cooldown and get my scaling from my fists. And this is just for fists, right? Obviously, because your GCD doesn't scale with haste here. We see it here, right? GCD does not scale with haste. We have the same GCD as rogues and other classes with 1 second, right? We can probably name them here. I mean, mage can probably get there. It's pretty much rogues. Who else has 1 second GCD? Ferals, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think Ferals have it. It's just rogues and Windwalker, right? For the 1 second GCD, I believe. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else. No, Demon Hunters don't have it. They scale with haste and get cooldown reduction from it on their Blade Dance. And on their, what's it called? Their Fell Blade. Their Fell Blade. It's this button here. But this is my pet attack for my Swen here. Okay, so these are the weapons I was talking about. This is the Ascendance on the offhand. And then we have Weapon Grip for the Mastery. Right? Because it's, look at it. How can you not get that on a Windwalker monk? Look at my Mastery here. Look, 70%. We go here. We wait for Weapon Grip, right? Oh, I'm in PV. I'm in PV, right? This is low. It's going with this 632 eye level here. So I need to find someone in PvP. We need to go back to Dornagal. Do you have Dornagal here? Yeah, we have it. We have it. Okay. Fortunately, we don't have the Merildar Hearth, which you're supposed to have. Right? You always want the Merildar Hearth no matter what. When you set that to Merildar, you never change it in this expansion. That Hearthstone has to be Merildar always, right? You can start with Dornagal, you can start with another zone, but if you're PvPing, you want Merildar. 100%. And you never change it. You just leave it there. There's no other way to get to Merildar, which is Hallowfall, right? It's the zone here. It's here. There's Merildar. Right? You see here? In front of us? Merildar? Yeah, there we have it. So you can't get there without going through basically the core way and then ringing deeps into Hellfall, which is the fastest way. Or going from like Ashkahet through the tunnel here and then flying this way, which is obviously the really long way. Right? Depending on which quest you need to get to. If there's a quest here, you could argue that actually this way is actually more beneficial because of the proximity here, which we can see. It's just obvious, as opposed to going this way through here. So, yeah, we need to hit the dummy to see what our mastery scales to with Weapon Grip, right? It's at 70%, obviously at the eye level reduction, because I didn't upgrade the gear. There's no need for it, thanks to the new change. Okay, so here we see my mastery goes to 87%. Right? Did we proc Weapon Grip? Oh, I'm getting versatility. Oh, that's Ascendance? Okay. Let's see it. I don't see... I'm trying to find weapon grip. Maybe a problem. I missed it. I must have missed it. Regardless, with the build that I have now, basically because I'm using 2-piece only, I forgoed the Fists of Fury scaling because it's reduced by a percentage in PvP. Like we should see here, 4%. So it's like 40%, right? 40. We get 10 stacks from the tier, so 40% on Fist, right? So Monk has basically the second best mastery scaling in the game, next to DH. So it's just infinitely more valuable to have your stat ratios. Like this is bad. Wait, no, I have it. I have weapon grip on mastery here. You see, I have just enough mastery where I sacrifice verse by using the crafted rings. The crafted gear is all like sacrificing verse here. I get mastery on the bracers with the heart-seeking health injector and the move speed. And then, yeah, basically this is a kind of like a mix mash of a monk guide and I'm just basically going over how weapon grip works, right? For classes like monk and demon hunter, my demon hunter is unfortunately on this account where the monk is, and he has a similar setup except he's using the NG helm and he has 2-piece on shoulders and leggings, I believe, because these pieces here actually have more mastery than the conquest pieces, right? And look at your mastery scaling. It's just insane. Did we get weapon grip? Please. Please. I guess it's... Well, in shuffle, it procs right away. Every time. Every time. I've always seen it up. There was no issue. With this thing, it's just different. Unfortunately, it would take a while to test this in shuffle. So... But yeah, you get like 1800 mastery from that. There's no argument with that. Like, how much is the 1800 mastery worth? We can probably calculate that. Like, if you look at the values there, you could probably, like, I'm guessing a really smart person would be able to do it in his head right now. Unfortunately, I cannot. Now I'd have to bring up the calculator, right? But you could see, like, if 1500 is like 50%, right? What's 1000? Can I calculate it in my head right now? No, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like 1800, like if you look at these pieces here, these are like 8 to 10% mastery. For DH it's 10% mastery, right? From the PvP eye level mastery value on this item, right? And it's like 8 to 9% on monk, maybe even 10%. It's between 8 and 10%, right? Just under DH for these two pieces. So what's 1800 then? 1800? These ones go up to 4k, right? So 1800 is slightly under half. So weapon grip is basically another 4 to 5%, right? We got Ascendance only. Okay, we didn't get weapon grip again. Yeah, it just doesn't proc on the dummies. That's why people think it's bad. But in fact, if you get a weapon grip in an arena, it's really nice. Like, unfortunately, I didn't get to use it. Maybe I get to play next season. But we'll see what happens, right? Okay. So there we have it. Now we'll go back on what we were talking about. So basically, this one's kind of kaput here. It's kind of like, it's just not working. And there are issues with syncing here. We can open up grok and calculate. Yeah. Sorry about this. Let's see. Refresh. Damn it. Okay. Okay, we open up grok. Okay. Wait, no. Actually, we want X, right? This one's fine. Elon owns Twitch. We should be good, right? Unless there's something bad here. But I hope that the people on X are adept at stopping things, right? So we need to go to the AI, and then we go. Okay. How many how many 5-man groups does it take to, or how often can 2 5-man groups, how often can 2 5-man groups queue sync into the same battleground? Alright. The frequency, we see here, the frequency of 2 5-man groups successfully queue syncing into the same battleground in World of Warcraft depends on several factors, including the game version, Classic, Wrath of the Lich King Classic Season, all this. Okay, this has to be the war within, obviously. I missed the variables. So we need, this is gonna, we really messed up the variables here, unfortunately. Usually it's not this bad. Okay. No, this is a bad search. Okay, how many 5-man groups? Like, we shouldn't do, actually we don't want to do random BGs. That's a bad example. I wanted to get to the issues with Blitz and Shuffle, which are the core issues. So, for in World of Warcraft's solo shuffle, how many teams, or how like, it's easy to sync with 2 healers, right? If they're at the same MMR, I could show you right here, but I don't want to ruin a game. I don't want to do that. I've done it, but I don't want to do it too many times because it'll just ruin the game for everyone else. It's not worth it. You want to mitigate that 100%. Queuing with 2 healers and then just farming tokens, not worth. Not worth ruining the lobby for 4 others, right? So you gotta watch out for that. So here, how it's, so we know healers can queue sync, right? How it's really easy. You just queue up with 2 healers and you can queue sync into the same lobby. I don't even have to show it, but you could just do it. How many accounts, how many DPS character accounts do you need to secure a lobby with 2 queue syncing healers? Okay. Obviously we could use more variables, right? Well, obviously, here we get an explanation. Do we not? Sync 2 healers and 2 DPS counts 4 total, right? But how many counts do we need? Whatever. Do we get it? Here. You need... What? It's just regurgitating nothing. No. On this... That was a bad example. Basically, what I'm getting at is that people can queue sync 2 healers, so like 1 guy on 2 accounts, and then he gets a DPS buddy. Or 2, like 2 to 3 more DPS buddies, and then they just populate the lobbies and play with each other. But that's only at like low MMR, right? And currently there's a market for account sales, but that game fixing creates like a cancerous effect on the game, demoralizing players and making them leave, right? So it happens in Blitz too. We need to figure out the variables for this. Here, what is the probability or here. How many healer DPS duos do you need to... Let's just make sure everything's good. Oh, you can't see it, unfortunately. Okay. We need to close the game here. Which one is it? The Torn. Oh, how many healer DPS duos do you need to Q-sync into the same Blitz lobby at the same MM? Alright, we need a specific MMR. Let's say 1400 to 1600 MMR. No, we probably... I don't know if this MMR thing would matter. We can end it at... actually, more variables are always better. So, here, we'll try this. So you need to fill all 6 slots, right, to guarantee it. But it doesn't say how many additional accounts because we're missing variables, unfortunately. Right. So yeah, regardless of that, that's just an issue. Explaining it with like the exact mathematics behind it is just redundant at this point, right? Because the issue lies within LFG here, which we see. You can see here, Blitz and Solo Shuffle don't have just like they're kind of fine, but they succumb to this Q syncing, right? And the game fixing, which is cancerous. So I believe that for Blitz, to avoid sabotage of that form, we really need to go back to what this was. So we need to find a common ground between these two here. Probably replace both of them. Maybe keep random battlegrounds the same, I would assume, but make a new one that replaces these two here, right? And have a way where you can queue solo, duo, or with however many members you want, and then queue with a full team, right? And you should select, right? If I were to make a rated background, fine, good. Wait, I want to do... we can't start it, right? So I can't do from here. But if we go to random battlegrounds, here we have it. This is what I was looking for. We get the specific battlegrounds, right? Now here we can see how they're differentiated based on like player capacity, right? So what we could do is have a queue like this, where you just pick the maps that you want to play on. You just pick them, right? So let's say you're with 40 friends. Well, now you pick this map, right? And if you like this map a lot, you just queue for this one over and over again. Who's gonna win trade here, right? Are they gonna win trade? Maybe. I mean, it's highly likely they can easily do it. Is it worth it though? It's just there's no MMR for this, right? It's just resources, I guess. But I mean, is it worth it to set up like 40 additional accounts, or why not just accept the gentleman's agreement and then play with your 40-man of friends? But what I'm saying is that a 40-man group should be able to queue together here and just play this all day if they want to, right? And then if you get a 10-man, you go for you select these 10-man maps and you queue for these, right? And then here you can, if you have a 15-man or like a 14-man or a 12-man, you can queue here, right? And if you don't have a flag carrier, well then you just veto the flag maps. You don't want to play on those, right? Just don't play on them. You don't have a flag carrier, you don't have a guardian druid or vengeance DH. No, you don't want to be on there. Or like an evoker or mistweaver monk. You know, the typical flag carriers. Even feral druids decent because they still have like survival of the fittest and bark skin plus additional verse from their setup and really nice mastery scaling, which is above many of the classes. It's just slightly below monk and DK, I believe. It's just slightly below DK, or like on the same level, if not probably better, because DK got like a 20% nerf actually after last expansion in regards to the mastery. And when I say DK, it's unholy, which takes precedence as like the standard like DK when you just mention DK. Otherwise you would say frost, right, for frost DK. So here we see it. So we need to let people queue with their friends and play on voice, regardless of the fact of whether abuse can occur, because everyone has the option to mute and everyone has the option to just leave, right, or report the individual or just mute them, right? So that is easily taken care of. There's no issue there. The only issue is that people can't play together. If you have 15 friends, what can you do? All you can do is raid. But you want a PvP. And technically here, there's an option for it, but you have to Q-sync with 3 5-mans and hope that you get in the same BG. And if 5 of your friends are in another BG, what do? You're like, oh, what do we do here? I guess you 10 guys play and we just leave? I don't know. Like, that's just... I don't know if that helps here. Right, and then like let's say you have a flag carrier and you have a 10-man. It's a really solid 10-man. Oh, you just pick all these flag maps, right? Warsong. You take Warsong. You take where is it? Here, Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, right there. 100%. 100%. You got a Guardian Druid and a Rogue most likely, so you'll want Gilneas too, right? Or even just play one map. But I'd advise taking multiple maps just to reduce the queue time for those individuals. But once again, this mode of selection needs to be incorporated into a replacement feature for these two modes here. The 10v10 battlegrounds, which aren't being used, and this, right? To reduce sabotage, right? To just make it a thing of the past. The only way sabotage would happen is if it's like a healer that's like high MMR joining a low MMR group to increase their MMR to then get farmed by his friends on the enemy team, right? So I wouldn't say ban these individuals. I just let them do it, and just try to get them to abide by a gentleman's agreement to some degree, right? It's not worth losing the money, losing these clients, right? Obviously. Okay, so here we have Ashran. I guess this would be the 35-man, and then we have all these maps, right? A bunch of 10-mans, and then Deepwind. So like let's say you have a 15-man, okay, you want variety, you got AB, you got Eye of the Storm. Maybe you don't like Eye of the Storm because you're a melee and you don't like fighting in mid and getting knocked, so you can disable that one. And then just let him play Deepwind and Narathi. And have MMR based on the map if you want, if that's a problem. You could have MMR based on the map if you don't want to make them like that would make the most sense, right? So, yeah, that was the issue. So this feature here, which we already have in the game, needs to be implemented over a feature that replaces these two. Once again, I can't iterate this enough, or I can't say this enough. Right? These two modes need to be replaced because this one has no. This one just got devoured by this one, right? All the players that would try to join groups here just got put into this one, and now they're succumbing to the cancerous effect of game fixing, right? So, with traditional RBGs, I explained the way game fixing occurred before, and it was really difficult. Whereas in this mode, it's extremely easy because it's just using simple mathematics, right? Right? Well, I guess not that simple because it's more applied than mine, right? So. So that fixes these two modes, right? Combining them and then using this feature to allow people to queue together. Now, the issue with Shuffle is the fixing, right? Which isn't as bad as Blitz. It's nowhere near as bad. Now, with Shuffle, this mode and this mode here need to be combined, right? And like basically, this mode here needs to be replaced with this mode due to the effect of game fixing, which is one cancerous effect on this Q system here. And then we have the second cancerous effect, which is levers, disconnectors, AFKers, whatever, third cancerous effect, right? Whereas this one has none. This one has none. No cancerous effects. There's no cancer here. This one is completely immune, right? This one is immunized. And here we have the viruses and everything, right? It's just bad news bears, right? Whereas here, there's no corruption. Like, who's gonna throw when you're playing threes and talking on comms with each other, bro? Who's gonna do that? I can't think of anyone. That's why it's the most sanctified queue out of all these, right? Well, this one's kind of fine. But this one here, the issue is double DPS versus healer DPS. So, I believe maybe we should keep this mode, but have a 2v2 DPS only mode and incorporate it in a mode that replaces both these modes here. So we want a superior 3v3, right? This is the one that has the cancerous effects. No, thank you. This is the one that has the 3 cancerous effects. And then this is the one that has no cancerous effects. So therefore we improve on this one, right? And then what has to happen here? This has to happen. You need to be able to click on here as a solo player. You need to be able to just click join battle and then just join. Like you do here. We see it. We see it right before our eyes. We see it, right? Arena skirmish. Join battle. Right? Oh, sorry. I didn't select the role. But we see join battle. But I'm going to exit immediately so I don't get a game. But you saw that I went into queue there, right? So, we have established that arena skirmish is now superior to this mode here, even. Right? For its accessibility. Because here, immediately, without question, I'm in queue. Whereas here, I have to go here, I have to go here, I have to go here, and then find this, right? But you should still be able to queue from, or I'm sorry, I went pre-made groups. Here, arenas, right? There, and then we'll filter. We just want 3v3. Here we have it. So there's, these are all threes, right? So we can go through this system here, or the join button. That's all that has to occur. There should just be a join button here, and then we also can leave this mode here. We can leave this mode, but we incorporate this feature into this one here, right? Where we make it 2v2 if there's 4 DPS with only 1 or 0 healers in queue, right? So everyone gets to play more consistently, and it's more balanced than this this queue here, which requires a healer, right? Okay, so that increases morale for everyone playing the game. Makes things better, makes them more productive. Instead of sitting in queue, they're gaining rating, gaining resources, right? And saving their money, right? And then maybe spending more of it too, right? They're saving money and spending more because they can spend more now, thanks to that, thanks to me, basically, because their morale is boosted. So there, we have the fix for this. This one is fine, we can leave it. And then we have the fix. This one didn't need a fix, but, well, other than this join button. And then this one had the cancerous effects, right? Whereas these ones did not have the cancerous effects, where this one was a very rare mild symptom, right? In a previous expansion. I don't think it would happen. I guess with the 2 groups, the way they were forming, it could have been happening there too. I didn't really notice because there were only 2 groups, right? So those people know they're playing against each other. So there we have it. There are our improvements for LFG here for PvP, and it's just gonna revolutionize the game for everyone, and everyone's gonna be great because it incorporates not only the solo queue, but it uses the additional parallel factor of the LFG, right? So you should be able to queue with 2 friends and then join battle here, right? Join battle right away with like 2 DPS or healer DPS, right? If there's only 2 of you and you want to do 3s. Additionally, you could include a filter here for classes and specs if you would like that. In I guess all that would stay. These 2 modes would be removed, right? And then we get just these 3, which are vastly superior, right? Based on the cancerous effects here. This one having 3, and this one having pretty much the same. 3 cancerous effects here. And then, yeah. These modes would just improve, right? Obviously, we have this. Join battle button needs to work here for this one, right? It needs to work just like it does here. Just like it does here, right? We see it in front of us. It works, right? It works there. It should just work here too. We could change the numbers. Obviously, we have what I explained earlier with like where you select the BG. You could go that route too. So now we have multiple routes where people can get a game together. So now more games or more teams are getting organized, more teams are getting built, and then you have that catalyst from multiple directions coalescing onto itself, and then basically just creating an effect of cascading queues, right? For people. Because this way they could queue for 2s, they could still do 2s here, and 3s, right? And get their RBGs, and they're queued for all 3, rated. And then these removed, please, because of the toxicity. Or not toxicity. Toxicity is... We shouldn't really care about that. It's not an issue. It's never really been. You know, anyone can just report or mute. It's at their discretion, right? They all have the power to just report or mute, so... We see that. So now we improve on the modes that work here, there. And that's the biggest improvement for this game, which will revolutionize the next 2 derivatives of this war saga. And it will heavily increase morale for the player base. Hopefully everyone gets to play as much as they can, right? Which is what I want. Right? I don't want people sitting in queue. I want people playing here. Right? I don't want people fixing games here. Or leaving, disconnecting, and ruining a 45-minute queue for a DPS. Or for 4 DPS, that queue for this lobby. I don't want AFK healers here. Or anything. And we just throw them in here where they're now in voice, right? With these guys on these maps. Here. Right? They're in these maps in a big group. So they're going to try their best to impress, right? You assume? Because they're speaking to everyone? Right? In public? So there you have it. Okay? And I have way more ideas. I'll get to them soon. And we'll see where we go from here. This was in regards to how to fix LFG for everyone. Basically. So we have this. If I could pin it, it would be great. But there, that fixes LFG for these brackets here, and it removes these like cancerous brackets because they're cancerous. Right? You don't want cancerous brackets in your game that succumb to game fixing, win trading, and disconnects. And maybe if you get a mechanism that I don't think you can replace players in these 2, but maybe in this one you could replace, and then have yeah, if you just have a join button and then have them show up in another panel, all the players that click join, you would be able to, like, let's say, like here, you would go quick match or rated. Let's say if this join button worked, right? You should appear here or somewhere on here. Like a pop-out, like the LFG list, basically. Like, here. Like under just Battlegrounds. You should appear here. As a player. So then teams from here can recruit you and see you instead of you just being in queue anonymously. Yeah? Right? This way people can avoid each other if they don't like each other, right? They'll see, oh, so-and-so's in queue, I'm getting out of here. Right? I don't want to see him. Right? And it just avoids conflict, which is huge morale booster. Huge morale booster. It empowers players to avoid conflict. Huge for them. That's huge. Okay, I'll be right back. Hopefully I didn't get my mic wet. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Now we're back. I can log out probably. What are some other issues here? We'll log out. Here. Now I'll show us something. We'll go to Makazradon here. This is the guy that I'm shaved now, right? But there's my hat. You see it? It's on my profile, right? Indiana Jones hat. So we'll get this guy here, and we'll go on an adventure. We'll go back to Burning Crusade here, right? TBC. I played since vanilla. Love this game. Love it so much. Saved my life pretty much. Right? This game. Love the people. Love everything about this game. Fortunately, I can't play it. But here. Now we need to go to Stormwind. We need to go to Shatrath, right? From Shatrath, we'll go to Shadowmoon Valley. And I'll show you what the Warlock needs. Yeah. Oh, I missed it. We have the speed boost here. Wait, I'm just going too far. Sorry about this. No, I was fine actually. Yeah. Where's Shatrath's the other way? Can we gate? Oh, we can't. Fine, we can run. Shatrath should be. Where is it? Caverns? Shatrath, right here. Okay, here we go. I should be streaming this, right? Luckily, I had this Warlock on this account, right? This is great. We want to get off Affliction here. Or we'll go Destruction's a little stronger than Affliction, actually. Just in case we run into anyone, because we are in war mode, right? There's no way I'm taking that off. In my opinion, if you're not in war mode, you're just not playing the game, my friend. I'm sorry. When it comes to just being out in the world, if you're not in war mode without the thrill of just surviving an attack from an assassin, I mean, I guess that's why Trump is president. It must thrill the guy. It's been 11 times. I never thought of it that way. Are you gonna thrill from it? Here we go. We need to go to Shadowmoon Valley down here. Okay? Let's get to Makazradon. I don't think we need a demon, because we're getting Makazradon. Now here, this could change. This talent here could change to the original Demonology talent that improved all your pets, right? And give you a passive. We could just add those features onto there. From like, basically from Demonic Empowerment, I believe it was. Well, Demonic Empowerment was like, I don't remember what it was. Here, we need to find Makazradon. He should be up here. Right here, right? He's always here? Maybe he's roaming. Where is he? Makazradon. Is he removed? Did they remove my demon? Where'd he go? Let's see. Makazradon, where are you? Where are you, Makazradon? There he is. Oh no, Morgaron. This guy will work. This guy's fine. Look, we killed this thing. Okay. Here we go. We curse this guy. He'll come. Now we go to our spell book because we never use this ability. We never use it. You know it. Subjugate demon. Oh? Here, subjugate demon. Here we go. Oh, it didn't work. It did not work. Unfortunate. So we just killed this guy. Maybe he resisted. And I just killed him, and now I'll have to find Makazradon. I know Makazradon works. Makazradon is the one that I want specifically. Here he is. There he is. This is the $1 million baby right here. Just like me, my friends. Just like me. Here we go. $1 million baby. And we get this guy. We can curse him here. We go to our spellbook. We should have probably bound it. Here, we'll bind it here. There we go. Subjugate demon. Can we do it again? Oh, really? Are you serious? Does it not work anymore? It's been patched? I suppose it's been patched. But here, that is quite unfortunate. We used to be able to subjugate this and take control of it ever since this expansion here. But I just can't do it, which is kind of amusing. Do I not have an option to subjugate the demon? There's no way of improving it, right? We don't see it anywhere? That is so unfortunate. Maybe I have to go demonology? This is really unfortunate now. I'm just gonna fly away. Hopefully he doesn't fall out. Okay. I just need to be able to disappear here. If I can.
I can't drink anymore yet.
Okay, so that's unfortunate. I wanted to show something about that demon. Either way, Makazrodon is the demon in question. And then his abilities should be in the WoW MPQ database files, I believe. I can't point them out right now because that would just be redundant. You would know where they are. Well, before, in TBC and onward, until now I suppose, you were able to subjugate this demon and control him, and you would get his ability, one being cripple, one being rain of fire, and the other one being like a cleave. And yeah, and he could fight for you. So basically, this needs to be incorporated into the demonology tree as a pet. And it's so easy for you guys to do this, right? Like at Blizzard, it's so easy. You just take this pet, right? The abilities from this demon, and then just make it a pet, and you would put it either here or on one of these capstone towns. Most likely this one, because this one's kind of the most negligible one in comparison to all the. I guess these two here, or these three down here, would be the most negligible. Whereas this one has scaling with your Dreadstalker 2-piece and 4-piece, right? So you keep this. You need that, right? Dreadstalker 2-piece and 4-piece in this current patch is scales here, so you need this one. And this one is obvious, right? You get an additional demon that fires bullets. So there's the guy, right? The demon. I would assume that like other demons would be good capstone towns as well. And then have the Felguard somewhere up here. Or it doesn't even matter, you just always get it by default. Right? And maybe even give other demons to other warlock specs too. Because currently the Voidwalker is kind of useless in PvP. The issue with the Voidwalker being that you need to sacrifice it to use its ability on yourself, which is here we'll see it. Okay. Right here. Shadow Bulwark. Shadow Bulwark. Now in order to be able to use this on yourself, you have to sacrifice the pet, right? This used to be a sacrifice shield in prior expansions, older ones, right? Like classic. That would shield the warlock, right? And it would block executes if the warlock was low health against the warrior. Whereas this only heals the Voidwalker, which doesn't really do much in PvP because you can see its abilities here. They're just 2 taunts. So it only really has value into like Beast Mastery Hunter, right? Or Unholy DK, like the pet classes, right? Maybe taunt some like knights or just like ghoul, like the abomination and well, I guess abomination doesn't really have to be taunted, but like it's only good on like hunter pets and the DK dark transformation cooldown, really, because that's the only thing that deals damage, and the riders, I would assume, right? So yeah, you could probably keep this one as a Doomguard pet, right? And still have this effect where you summon additional Doomguards, right? Like in Warcraft 3, when you would ult with Doom, and then you would get more and more Felguards based on like how many, or Doomguards based on like how many Dooms you had on your team. Like if you were playing 3v3 or 4v4 Warcraft 3, you would have like a bunch of Pit Lords and then just throw in Dooms everywhere, right? So yeah, and then this Diabolist isn't that good for PP. Soul Horse is infinitely better, right? I was just using Diabolist because it got buffed, and then this cooldown reduction on Halter is really nice, which gives you an additional diminishing return in addition to your 2 stuns through Grimoire and yeah, we all know this, right? We all know this. So it's just redundant. But yeah, regardless. That's what I'm getting at. Once again, this talent should be updated to the like it should be updated with the stats from the classic talent, and demonic sacrifice needs to be buffed now because it doesn't scale as good as having a pet with affliction even, due to the 4-piece bonus and the 2 well, the 2-piece bonus is just, I guess it does, yeah. Here we see it with affliction. Now here I want mastery. I made 2 warlocks, 1 mastery and 1 draining for burst scaling for his racial passive, right? So you can heal additional health through his passive and his health stone, right? So here, I went for mastery here, right? I got my precog. This is just minimal sockets, right? And I went for the mistake of using focusing lens like everyone had initially gone with. And then I realized that the best thing to do is just craft a weapon like I saw a few people were doing. And those guys were the geniuses, right? The guys that crafted the weapon right away and sacrificed the weapon token to get the Ascendance Embellishment on a 2-hander. But ideally you'd want 2 1-handers with Ascendance and Weapon Grip, right? Or even Radiance. Well, actually, I don't think Radiance is worth it for 700. Actually, no, it still is. It still is. It still is. Yeah. The Radiance one, we could see it here if we go back to Dornogal. We'll just go back here. Unfortunately, Mikazradon didn't work. But regardless, we can use like more demons for capstone talents and in all the specs, right? They could just all have like new demons. It would just be huge for the game, right? Because we have the issue where Voidwalker just cannot be used in PvP. So we have a demon here that just only gets used by like players that want to pull big packs in the world, right? Which is a lot of the player base. So improvements need to be made on the Voidwalker to get it to a point where it's PvP viable. So what we could do with Shadow Bulwark is also buff it to heal and to shield the Warlock with the old shield that could also be dispelled even. I would take that. I would so accept that, right? For the dispel on the shield. So, yeah. As long as I got the shield, right, and an additional heal from Shadow Bulwark along with the health increase, that should apply to both the demon and the master here, but it does not, right? So therefore making the Voidwalker like completely unusable, and the only way for this ability to function is if you go here, right? And then you sacrifice the 3% damage that scales with your 4-piece and your and all your mastery. All your mastery, right? Right, we have the 4-piece here, where it increases unstable affliction damage by 50%, right? When it's probably like half that, 25%, and then we get more damage reduction here because we get an AoE effect, right? Because of there's the limit on how many unstable afflictions can get applied. I believe that the tier applies the unstable affliction, the additional ones regardless, so you don't really need to use this talent. And not having it is better for the 1v1 anyways, right? So good talents would be like Bonds of Fel for Fire School, right? If you need that to just get kicked right away. But I would go with Soul Rip for anything because it's a healing debuff, right? You're always going to need this. There's always going to be healer everywhere. They're everywhere. So this one is the best one. This one is good, right? But not as good as Soul Rip. Right, because of the healing reduction. And then Long Gate is exceptionally good too. And these two you can't really budge from because this is a huge ability that applies like 4 or 5 dots, even more. And this is just 3 globals in one. I mean, it's even 4 globals if you take the Satyr, right? It's like 4 globals in one. Well, you get an additional curse plus like 2 globals worth of dots, right? So there's no arguing with this, right? This is 1 global, like 6 dots, and then you can even double the multiplier on your infirmity here. And yeah, and it applies this, right, in AoE, plus an additional haunt that gives you an additional 24%. So you get like full scaling everywhere. I use this, right, because I replaced my Drain Life with this just for that, just to have another button, because Drain Life is not worth pressing in this expansion, unfortunately. because of the nerf to the I guess the removal of the talent, right? The insidious demise or whatever it was called, inevitable demise, which is rather unfortunate because that was a fun aspect of Warlock that people seem to enjoy, but we don't see it anymore, right? Just the ability can't be used. It scales with verse. It does not scale with mastery. If it did scale with mastery, it would be great. But yeah, we see that, right? We see it scales with crit. I'm not necessarily sure if it scales with haste. It could. I don't think it does. But yeah, it scales only with crit and verse, unfortunately. No tier scaling, no mastery scaling. So then you don't have the parallel scaling values or like additional multipliers on your damage, right? You just want your damage to have cascading multipliers on top of them for your like kill abilities, right? So there we see that. That's why Warlock is having issues this season, at least Affliction. You don't see many Warlocks, or you shouldn't see many of them, unless they're in a pre-mid. And everything else here is fine. I would like for, like, I myself would like to work on these talent trees by overlaying these talent trees with talent trees from previous expansions, and then seeing if we can set up new pathways to make it a little more not necessarily difficult, but a little more expansive. Like, just, I can't explain it now because I would have to like overlay talents from expansions, but you could imagine just from memory, right, of how the other expansions were, because I didn't think about doing that before talking here, but it's something that needs to be applied with additional input from other individuals, basically other diamonds in the rough or crazy diamonds, like what Pink Floyd says, to reflect sunlight and give me variables and let me know some of their ideas and how things could work better depending on like level scaling and whatnot, right? But you could get all the talents like pretty much superimposed upon each other in paint, right? So you would just like make additional connections, and then you would have more diverse, more yeah, just better talent trees for everyone there. Like if you manage to incorporate all of them and just get the nuances of or I guess just the nostalgia of having old towns come back would just feel great for everyone, I think, and it would really increase morale. So another thing we see here is another issue I have with Warlock is devour magic and the fact that I can't
attack that target.
I can't use it on myself, right?
Attack that.
And I think that I should be able to.
Target.
And you should still keep the imp dispel, right? Don't take it away. But give the imp its old abilities from previous expansions. And then just make it playable again, because currently the imp cannot be used in PvP. It just does nothing. And it has like no scaling on anything. You would have to be demonology to use the imp, and it would just seem very awkward, right? So I don't even know, like how would you ever take an imp over a Felguard when it's like the best pet in the game? So that makes demonology by far the best spec, because it has scaling on the 2-piece and it's just better than the other specs at the moment. Demonology, I would say, is the alpha Warlock spec for this patch currently, and we see it in Venruki's videos, we see it in everyone's videos in the community, we see it everywhere. Demonology is just cleaning house, right? And then, yeah, so, okay, yeah, so talents, I could go over them myself, right, and create a talent tree, or other people could do on their own as well, with superimposed images, and then you could just move stuff around, right, with just paint, or Photoshop, or anything. So yeah, the dispel would be huge for Warlocks. A big complaint about Classic is that Warlocks can't use this on themselves. So maybe because of the way that dispel works now with priests, that you need like two separate ones, whereas before I think it was one, or no, it was always two. It was always two. Actually, it was dispel disease and then or magic, and then it was just offensive dispel. But if we could like, this is a way of pruning almost, but not really, because you keep an ability, but give it an additional effect So I should be able to target myself
Attack that.
and dispel a sheep,
I can't attack that
right?
target.
Or like a
I
corruption
can't attack that.
or something,
I
right?
can't
A
attack
haunt
that
even,
target.
or a coil,
I can't attack
or a
that.
fear, right? And it would just feel so much better because this is, you can't use the imp. In order to use the imp, you would need to use, once again, this. You lose your 3% scaling here, right? And this equates to like 7 or 8% damage, right? But then you lose this here, your damage reduction, and you just die to double melee easily, without question, right? Without question. There's no way you're surviving with this against double melee. No way. And you can't use this on demonology anyways. It's only with destruction, because affliction is kind of unplayable now because it has no drain life, right? And it used to depend on that heavily, and that feature got removed. So I think it should just come back, because Warlock is kind of built around that right now, right? So scaling back on it, I think, was kind of a mistake, and I would just replace it with this, right? I would just give it, like, just add it to Oblivion, basically. Yeah, inevitable demise right there. Just works. Just fits perfectly, right? And then once again, we could superimpose all the talents and then make new connections to make new builds that would be more similar to like PoE or Diablo 3. Or Diablo 3 and 4, I suppose. More like Diablo 4. What's going on in Diablo 4 with the skill tree? Not so much the Paragon. But we could also incorporate these two and then add them into these two trees, right? For each spec. So restructure the talents. I would love to do it. I would spend night and day doing it. I don't care. I would just enjoy it no matter what. And then, yeah, I would love to do that. And let's see here. What else would I want to talk about? Oh yeah, we'll go over the problems with destruction, because warlocks are the ones that are having the most issues, right? Currently, from I haven't played in 10 days, so that was the issue before. Okay, so here we have the double healing reduction, right? That I don't know if it stacks. I don't think it does. Either way, and then you have your long gate, right? These are the best for just BGs. So here we have the mastery scaling, right? Where we have Chaos Incarnate, but we don't need that, right? Because we have 4-piece. So during our, like, we could use it, obviously, but during our jackpot, or when we summon Infernal, we get 100%. So this talent does not function anymore. So we lose it, right? So you could get something else. Like it functions, I suppose, but it's the tier is just 100% and this is just 70%, so it does nothing. It does nothing for you. Right? Everything else here is like semi-fine. I mean, this one is, these talents are negligible here, but I was using Hellcaller, right, for the instant, because otherwise you don't get to use Immolate, right? So if you, because they'll just interrupt it. You know they will. They always do. There's always 2 melee on you and like a ranged that will interrupt you in a BG, right? So yeah, that's just how it is. There. So we have it, right? Now, ways to improve Warlock. Here. What additional pets could we have? Now, we have demons everywhere. I would love to like sculpt some pets for everyone in this game, or just go through it with like a developer and see what sort of pets we can develop for all 3 specs, right? Or even have them, or even give all 3 specs Felguard at this point and just make even more badass demons that are just even more powerful that you would have to upgrade into. So you just give everyone Felguard, right? Or not. It doesn't matter. I'm happy with either way. But I do think that we should have more demons to compete with Hunter, because currently Hunter completely outclasses Warlock in every way. 1v1, the Hunter will just annihilate the Warlock without question. No matter what spec, because all specs actually have really good tier scaling aside from Beast Mastery and Marksman. Like Survival actually has really nice tier, and it's really good right now, or it was good the whole patch in my opinion. So Survival was a complete joy, even though I had to play it in greens early on and not with the tier. But I did get to play with the tier later on. So now, where do we go from here? Demons, right? I need to give examples. Obviously, I'm just rolling, right? It would be redundant at this point. That's something that you'd have to work on like over time. right? Because we're like mentioning what demons are possible and stuff like that is just, it shouldn't happen here. It should happen while developing, right? And then issues with DK, mastery scaling, obviously. Oh, Frost DK was so amazing, man. I love the set. The way Frost DK is now. Oh my god, man. After the buffs to DK defense abilities, you can see it maybe in one of my VODs, but like it was just so satisfying, right? Wow, actually got bad cough. Okay, so it's just, this is my spec, right? Obviously I got full scaling, right? You want this one, I guess, because these two aren't worth it. These don't scale with your 4-piece or 2-piece. More they scale with the mastery, but not the other stuff. Right? There's no multiplier on this, whereas like we see here, right here, right? Go here. We have a multiplier on Glacial Advance, and then we have a multiplier on Frost Strike, and Glacial Advance again, and then it's just Frost Scythe. But that's nowhere. Even though this is a really high multiplier, and it's a good talent, but this is just more when you get your stacks. And it's just better to use, for me at least, to use Razor Ice in a BG, because you're switching targets a lot, so you need to stack up Razor Ice really fast. So you need to just max it out. You need not only Razor Ice, but you need Arctic Assault, and I could argue even getting this. But you would have to sacrifice, like, it would be Enduring Strength, right? You don't want that. You don't want to sacrifice Enduring Strength for Glacial Advance. Because you're getting a global for a passive, right? Or is, I don't even know if this is on global. But yeah, this is just better, right? Because you have this, and Razor Ice on the weapon. So for BGs, you want to stack up your Razor Ice super fast with a fuel blitz. Ideally, you would use the 2 crafted one-headers, one with weapon grip and one with ascendance, obviously, just because of that. And then you would have your sharpening stones or whetstones, right? On these for random BGs and other content where you can apply whetstones. So whetstones, as we see here, everyone should know this. It's redundant. You know what a whetstone is? It's just a sharpening stone for weapons that could be used in PvP. We've had them for every expansion. So yeah, and then I went mastery here, and then we see that the mastery scaling is not as good as in Dragonflight, unfortunately. Right, I'm only at 37. We'll need to go to a PvP dummy. Do we have Dornigal Hearth? No. We should have a dummy here. Oh no, we don't, right? It has to be PvP. This is the old Deathgate. Whatever. So regardless. Yeah. I went for like max verse jewelry, right? And indexing into high mastery, and then haste here. And I love this build. But unfortunately I can't play it, right? Because of things that have to happen. I need to somehow stimulate our economies, increase morale, and I just have to help more than just playing the game, right? At this point, based on how things are happening. So yeah. I'm gonna take a break here, and I'll come back with more things that I need to talk about. But other than that, like, for the most part, it's just like things are really, really good in this game. It's great. I think that all world quests should be readily available at all times. Maybe just have the world PvP quests only in the Spark Zone and not have them in other zones to incentivize more world PvP in the main area and have more people. You could also have, or just have all the quests out all the time for world quests, so they just reset like every day basically, and they're always up. That'd be sick, because then you could just go everywhere and fight. There'd always be people everywhere because there'd be something to do. There'd always be an excuse, right? Because everyone would be either in queue for something, so they could just farm something, gear, resources, other players if they want to just assassinate someone, and that sort of stuff, right? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. So now we're gonna get to something that I just thought of, and it's gonna be legendaries, which we saw in Legion and in Shadowlands. We don't have to log out here. We can probably go J. Wait, Shift J. Oh, I should really check this. I'm gonna miss out. Okay. Yeah. We have classic, right? Do we have? Oh no. Yeah. Do we have Legion? No. Shadowlands? Here. Basically, we have the legendaries here from Shadowlands. As we see, lots of them are kind of bad. Like, Sephu's is okay, but not really that great. But there were some good ones, right? Which we used. So what we could do is go through legendaries from the past and have them scale up for the next expansion or future expansions, where they could add additional effects and diversify builds a little more. So maybe have like a set plus like 2 legendaries would be just like, it'd feel so sick to have a character like that, right? If we all got like, let's say there's like legendary axe and like legendary shoulders that give us, or no, let's say we get Lut Socks from Diablo 3, right? The barbarian boots that give you additional charges of leap. So you could have Lut Socks, and it makes it so your like leap leaves an earthquake on the ground or something like that, right? So we can take ideas from Diablo and incorporate them into legendaries to diversify the builds. Once again, like, I'm kind of being repetitive here, which is unfortunate, but we'll go from here. So we want legendaries. Legendaries are great, and they're a thrill to get. Right? It just increases morale and makes everyone feel really good about the game. So we want to take ideas from Legion, Classic, all their expansions with other legendaries, and reincorporate them into a feature expansion sometime. Right? Which is really, it's really good for the game, because we also want to make these obtainable through like randomly, but you also want to be able to target them, so you can target farm them, and then also craft them. Right? So there's 3 ways of obtaining the legendary, making it much less dreadful to do the grind, right? For the player base, increasing morale once again. Right? Just by having like 3 ways of getting the same legendary, it would just make this so much better, right? So what are the good legendaries here? For DK, they didn't really have one, right? I guess this Remorseless Winter one would be a really good one right now with the honor talent, right? You can see me. I'm just making sure everything works. Hopefully everything's fine, and then I'm still streaming here. With I don't even know what's happening out there. It's all quiet where I am, but hopefully everything's working for you guys down there in the States, because I saw a bunch of websites go down. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't been watching the news. Either way. So these are just examples to increase morale. Obviously the legendary that we would pick here would be Biting Cold, without a doubt, right? Because of the 400% multiplier on our honor talent here, right? So there's no way we wouldn't take Biting Cold as one of our legendaries. And then we could have like generic legendaries for people, but we need to make them interesting, right? See, now here, the issue is with a lot of these legendaries, they're not really that good, right? They're kind of ambiguous. Like Abomination Frenzy, like they don't really do much, right? They're not noticeable, these ones.
Opportunity's knocking.
Okay, please.
If you've got
Please,
the metal.
please. We don't need this. So here, the only good one I can see is, like, these ones are so bad, right? You want them to scale with effects and tier, or abilities and tier, right? Like maybe have one where your Frostborn Fury deals like 400% more damage, and take ideas from Diablo and then incorporate them into Warcraft, and have just really straightforward legendaries with multipliers that increase the power level of your character, so that way players have additional things to aspire to, which are legendaries, which can be created through the 3 facets, either through random drops, targeted drops, or crafting, and then you make them really good, like something that increases like Hammer of Wrath damage by 50%, a weapon that could increase your like Templar's Verdict and give it an additional effect, or make it like always proc Divine Storm, or additional Divine Storms even, right? So there's so much you could do with legendaries, and it would just add more color and depth to the game, basically adding more elements of the periodic table into the game, and then just letting it flourish from there. Once again, and it just make people feel more unique. Maybe instead of just having meta builds, we can actually diversify a little more here. And like for instance, you could have thunderclap scaling on one of these, right? For warrior, right? Because of their thunderclap scaling on their not Colossus, but the other one. It's like Mountain Thane, right? Mountain Thane. There's no real thunderclap scaling other than like like we should go on the warrior right now. Actually, this is kind of weird. Here I'm gonna do this. Actually, this is just faster. We go on the warrior. We go on the warrior and we show the talents that I'm talking about, just to not make people feel weird. Okay. We just here annihilator. Okay. Now, if I could dive into this with like mathematical equations, I would love to, right? I would just ask Grok and check on the internet what mathematical equations I would need to show everyone to see how things would need to be like scaled or and whatnot, right? But my mathematical background, unfortunately, is like behind because I only have high school, right? Now, high school, basically applied math, grade 11 calculus, and then no grade 12 calculus. Unfortunately, I only have grade 12 applied math. So, I'm really behind. Okay, we go to the towns on the warrior here. Right here, we go to Mountain Thane. We don't have it here, so we need to be Fury or Prods. Obviously, Fury is the choice for now. Because once again, we're talking about PvP here. So now, here we see there's no thunderclap scaling on this. So this makes Mountain Thane really bad, right? This scales with my Rampage, which is great. Because Rampage has a lot of multipliers through towns and honor towns, or hero towns, right? And then we have Bloodthirst multiplier, right? At the bottom. Okay. So we look at our towns here. Okay, here are our additional multipliers. We have a 5%, right? If we kick someone. And then here we have a multiplier on our Thunderclap, right? But we can't see it. We need Thunderclap skilled, right? Probably. Here. Let's see if we can do this. Wait, I don't want this talent. We can get it here. And here's the other Thunderclap, right? I need to switch off Slayer and then maybe try Mountain. I think the towns changed, didn't they? There used to be Thunderclap scaling on these two towns here. It was Seismic Reverberation. There it is. We see it. We have Thunderclap, and then it's right here. This one, Thunderclap and Whirlwind scaling. So once again, the problem with this build here is that there's no additional scaling via the tier for the Thunderclap, right? So we need to supplement via a legendary or an embellish, right? Once again, we can make really cool embellishments for people where they get multipliers on different abilities, or like even cooldown reduction, and like additional charges even, or effects from embellishments. And that would just get people crafting everything, loving it. Just like crafting this, crafting that. That's what you want, right? You want people to craft legendaries, you want people to craft items, you want people to spend their gold, but not too much of it, something affordable, and make them feel like they're really efficient with what they're doing. Okay. Okay, it's kind of late right now, so I'm gonna have to stop this for now, and I'll have to come back on this tomorrow. So we'll go from here later on.